And welcome back to another episode of Saturday Night Horror. Now tonight's going to be a good night movie-wise because we're watching one of my favorite horror movies, and honestly one of my favorite movies in general of all time. Tonight we're watching Aliens. Now Aliens, of course, is the sequel to Alien, which was another amazing, awesome movie. But Aliens continues the story of Ellen Ripley and her fight against these xenomorphs, these alien creatures. Now I remember when I was a child living in Italy, I remember seeing the trailer for Aliens and it scared the crap out of me. I wanted absolutely nothing to do with horror movies, especially Alien and Aliens, and it just no. I wanted absolutely nothing to do with it. As I got older and started watching horror movies, I realized that these movies were honestly some of the best out there. So tonight it's gonna be a good night with movie-wise. As far as cooking goes, honestly I don't feel like cooking, so I'm having leftover chili and I'll show you that in just a few seconds. I think it's gonna be a good night. So our movie, Aliens. Our meal, some leftover homemade chili. It's gonna be an awesome night. So let's go out in the kitchen, let's get our chili so we can go out in the front room and start our movie. I'll see you out there.
Let's go out to the kitchen. Let's go out to the kitchen. Let's go out to the kitchen and have ourselves a snack.
Alright, so here's the chili. I actually just finished eating a bowl and I forgot to record the bowl. So this was it. This was the chili and I had a bowl of this. Alright everyone, we have our food. Well, we had our food. So now it's time for the mandatory, absolutely necessary Jurassic Park movie poster shot. So as always, we'll go out here in the garage. And there you go. Quite possibly one of the greatest movies ever made. Definitely one of my favorites. But we have to show this on every episode. It's become tradition. Alright, so let's head on out. Get back in the house and watch our movie. Alright, here we are. Our movie is ready to go. Aliens. I love this movie, man. It's been, I think it's been maybe a year, a little over a year since I've last seen it, so it's going to be a good night, man. Definitely looking forward to watching this. Alright, the movie is over, and it was awesome. I always enjoy watching Aliens. It's one of those movies I could watch a few times a year and not get tired of it. So Aliens, man. We find out fairly early in the movie that this takes place 57 years after the original. And you're probably wondering, how can this take place 57 years later, but Ripley looks exactly the same? Well, if you remember at the end of the first movie, she got on an escape pod and put herself in, I guess, a cryogenic slumber. She's been sleeping for 57 years until her ship, is found by a deep space salvage team. So imagine that. You put yourself in this sleep, and when you wake up, people tell you, hey man, it's been 57 years. It's incredible. I can't imagine the shock that you have to go through. So anyway, Ripley is being taken to this space station, space call, I don't know what it is, but people live there and it's all kinds of stuff. She gets questioned about what happened on the first movie, and of course no one believes her when she tells you that this planet is overrun with these alien creatures. And then we find out that the planet that they were on in the first movie is being colonized. There's families living on that planet, and Ripley just absolutely cannot believe it. But again, no one believes her. They say in 57 years, no one's had any reports of this alien creature. So they think she's nuts. They think she's absolutely crazy. So of course, the next day, they come knocking at her door. Guess what? They lost contact with the colony. They need Ripley to go with a team of Colonial Space Marines to go check it out, because maybe, just maybe, Ripley's telling the truth. And I thought it was funny how quickly they kind of changed their mind. They acted like she was totally nuts, a whack job, and then the next day they're, Ripley, we need your help. We need you to go with us. We need to know what we're up against. Well, you just said she was crazy. So she goes with his Colonial Marines back to the planet, and she's under the impression that they're there to absolutely wipe the alien creatures out. And speaking of these Colonial Marines, oh my god, this is the most unimpressive, lackluster group of Marines I've ever seen. Jesus H. Christ, these guys sucked. There's only one Marine in the whole group who was worth a damn, and that was Hicks. The rest of them were absolute jokes. They didn't take anything seriously. It was kind of the stereotypical thing where you see these early movies, Marine groups like, all right, Marine, hoorah, lock and load, and like, you know, stuff like that. That's how these guys were. They had this ego about themselves, like they were bigger, badder, better than everyone else. They didn't take anything seriously, and I laughed my ass off when they encountered the aliens for the first time and were absolutely wiped out. I figure, you know, that's what you get, man. You had this ego about yourselves. You didn't take anything seriously. You thought you were bigger and badder and nothing could stop you, and the aliens absolutely wiped you out. I was laughing the whole time. They finally realized that, holy crap, we're out of our league. And they finally started taking things seriously, but man, it was cringeworthy to watch these Marines before they got to the planet. It was so cringeworthy, it was almost infuriating. It was so bad. The aliens themselves were awesome. Matter of fact, the special effects throughout this whole movie were awesome, and to me, they still hold up to this day. You gotta remember, this came out way back when, in the 80s. I say way back when, it's not that long. And the effects that they had in this movie, for them to be able to do that in the 80s, was just awesome, man. I absolutely loved it. We had a lot of battles in this movie between the aliens and the Marines, of course, Ripley herself. And really, Ripley and the Marine Hicks were the only people in this cast. I take it back, Bishop as well. So there were 3 people in this cast I was actually rooting for. The rest of them, which were mostly the rest of the Marines, I just wanted them to be gone. I wanted the aliens to just absolutely decimate them. We also had a child in this movie named Newt, and I might be in the minority, but I thought she was irritating as hell. And I really wanted the aliens to destroy her too. She was just so irritating, man. Yeah, Ripley, Bishop, and Hicks were the only characters I was rooting for. Did they make it? Did they die? You'll have to watch the movie to find out. But we had a lot of good fighting scenes. Of course, we had the legendary final fight between Ripley and the Queen, the alien Queen, where Ripley is in the suit. I can't remember what it's called, but it's one of those high-tech suits that helps you lift heavy materials. It was awesome, man. You look at that and you don't think it's gonna work. You're like, what is she doing? But it was impressive, man. I really enjoyed it. I liked the final fight between Ripley and the aliens. And the alien Queen had, you know, she had intelligence, and they showed that and showed how she communicates with the other aliens, and I thought that was pretty cool. We had a scene where Ripley is kind of in the nest area where the Queen is laying her eggs, and the Queen thinks she has Ripley done for, dead to rights, and you see 2 aliens kind of creeping up. Ripley shoots her flamethrower to show the Queen that there's flames coming out, then she points it to the eggs. And the Queen realizes what's going on, so she calls off the other 2 aliens. I thought that was pretty cool. She knew that Ripley was going to burn her eggs, so she called off the other aliens, like, yo, let her go. Of course, Ripley burns them all anyway, because why the hell not? But I thought it was pretty cool, the communication and the intelligence from the alien queen. Man. And I will say this, and this is a spoiler, so if you don't want any spoilers, even though we've done quite a few already, screw it. These alien movies always end with the alien being sucked out into space. Somehow, some way, at the end of this movies, the aliens always end up being sucked out into deep space. Every single one. So I thought that was funny. They kind of, it's almost like a running gag where no matter what happens, the alien has to be sucked out into deep space. That's how we kill it. So all in all, Aliens is an awesome movie. If for some reason you have not seen it yet, please immediately do yourself a favor. Watch Alien. Watch this movie, Aliens. Part 3 and beyond, you don't really need to worry about. They weren't very good. But the first two were absolutely incredible. Definitely worth your time. So with that being said, I think that is going to do it for this week's episode of Saturday Night Horror. Man, it was a good night. I really enjoyed it. So I appreciate y'all watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Y'all have an awesome weekend. Have an awesome rest of your week. And I will see you next time on the next episode of Saturday Night Horror. Y'all take care.